Nobody likes paying taxes. And it seems like the IRS wants to put their hands on every penny that we work so hard to earn. Not only do we get taxed on the income we make, but also on the investment gains we earn as well. But one of the best ways to avoid having that massive tax bill down the road is the famous Roth account. This will let you take all your investment money and your earnings completely tax-free if you meet a few requirements. Let's talk about them. Hey guys, this is your young advisor, and today I'll be teaching you guys about Roth accounts and how they can be used for tax strategy advantages. One thing I want to clarify though, this is not investment advice. I am not a licensed advisor, so please invest at your own risk. Now let's get into Roth accounts. Roth IRAs, or individual retirement accounts, have become increasingly popular with investors due to their amazing tax benefits. The concept is very simple. Pay the tax now and keep the earnings later on. In investment terms, that means you invest income you already paid income tax on, and then when you decide to withdraw that money for earnings, you don't get taxed either on income or capital gains because you already paid that tax initially. This amazing feature can also be added to your employer investment account for your 401ks or a Roth 401k, so you can contribute even higher amounts that the employee can match as well. So what that means, under certain requirements, every single dollar you see in that Roth account, you can withdraw completely tax-free, no penalties, without strings attached. But actually, before I get ahead of myself, there are a few strings that you gotta be aware of. The biggest things that draws people away and just leads them to invest in a brokerage account is the age limit. In order to withdraw your funds from a Roth account completely tax and penalty free, you have to be 59 and a half years old. Why did the IRS choose the most random number in the history of numbers? I don't know, but that's the age they deem investors are fit to start withdrawing from their retirement accounts. You also have to wait 5 years from your first contribution into any Roth account to be able to withdraw without penalty. That is a 10% early withdrawal penalty. And that 5-year period is not flexible. If you open your account at 58 years old and still turn 59 and a half, you have to wait still the complete 5 years. So that means you'll be able to take withdrawals penalty free at 63 years old. Those two rules work hand in hand, and once you meet both of those, then you can be able to access your earnings tax free. That being said, why would anyone invest in a Roth account? It may seem like once you put your money in that account, you'll never be able to see it until you're 59 and a half, which seems like an eternity. That's what I felt like when I first got mine. I'm 20. There is a silver lining though. All contributions made to that account can be withdrawn tax and penalty free. That being said, if you were to open a Roth account today in 2025 and contribute the max limit of $7,000, all of a sudden the next day you want all that money back, you are more than welcome to do so. Only as long as you don't touch any of those earnings before the 5-year limit and that 59 and a half limit, then all your contributions are safe. This also applies to any rollovers or conversions to this account as well. So if you had another 401k or IRA that you turn into a Roth, they will then count as contributions that you can take out tax free. But for rollovers and conversions, you have to wait 5 years from that initial conversion. So it isn't technically immediately tax free, but once you wait those 5 years, then they're considered as contributions. But this leads us to a big question. What if you need more money than you contributed for any unexpected expenses or medical emergencies? The good news is that certain medical, education, insurance premiums, and birth and adoption expenses can be exempt from that 10% early withdrawal penalty. You can also withdraw a lifetime amount of $10,000 for a first-time home purchase. But please keep in mind, if the account is less than 5 years old, those withdrawals will still count as income. So then you'll be taxed accordingly to that. It's also important to note, if there's death or disability to the account owner, then the IRS will allow you to withdraw that money tax and penalty free. So that all being said, what's the wait? Paying the tax now and then getting those earnings tax free down the line can offer massive tax advantages if you happen to make a higher salary when you're older. Because normally with the traditional IRA or 401k, any withdrawals will count as income and will be taxed according to your tax bracket. But with the Roth, since you already paid that tax, essentially those withdrawals will be under the IRS's radar. This is especially important because as you get older, you tend to start reaching the highest income earning years in your career. So imagine paying tax on a $10,000 traditional IRA withdrawal while you're at a 37% income tax bracket. That would eat up so much of your gain, and that would be carving a lot into that retirement income, which may bring bigger problems down the line. So by anticipating that higher income tax bracket as you get older, paying the tax now at a relatively lower tax bracket can save you so much money in the future, especially as you get closer to retire. Another great thing about Roth accounts is there's no RMDs or required minimum distributions. RMDs are required for any traditional retirement account, which means withdrawals from that will be mandatory once the account owner turns 73 years old. The reason behind that is because those contributions to those accounts are going to be tax deductible and pre-tax, meaning you never paid that income tax in the first place. So the IRS really wants their money, and 73 years old is the longest they're willing to wait. But since you already paid the tax on the Roth account, you can keep that money in that account as long as you want, which means the growth can really be exponential over the long run. And if those reasons aren't enough, maybe the fact that you can open a Roth account in just a couple minutes can convince you. That being said, that's the way you can invest and reap the rewards later on without footing a massive bill to the IRS. Thank you guys for watching this video about Roth accounts, and I hope you enjoyed and learned something new today. I'm very happy to be your young advisor, and let 2025 be the year we all get rich. So happy investing and have a great day, y'all. Bye bye.